Hey, by the way, tonight's game, New York wins that outright.
You know he's on top. Million subs, he never gonna flop. Out of Chicago, where the streets don't sleep. Betting on games, making cash real deep. Crystal ball for sports, he knows the lines. He's a sports aficionado, the money he finds. From football to basketball, he's always on point. Predicting winners never disappoints. He's got that hustle, that Chicago vibe. Making moves on the streets, cash on the side. With E, you know it's always a bet. He's the king of the game, never forget.
Hello and welcome to the eTalk 21 Sports Show for February 24th. How is everyone doing? My name is Erik. I'm the man behind eTalk 21 Sports. Absolutely loaded episode for you today. My boy Gino is going to have his horse racing bet of the day from the Fountain of Youth Stakes. And my boy Badger Max is making his debut on the eTalk 21 Sports Show. We're going to share our bets for Wednesday's loaded college basketball slate. But before we get all that, I'd like to say thank you to the show ProphetX. Guys, if you're not using ProphetX, go to the App Store, download ProphetX. Use promo code ETOFT21. That way they know old Uncle Rico sent you. Guys, this peer-to-peer betting exchanges, this is going to be the future. We're starting to see in Illinois here. Michigan's talking about it. A tax to bet long-term. You cannot make money if they're taxing you when you bet it. This peer-to-peer stuff doesn't do that shit. So make sure to check out ProphetX and use that promo code. That way they know old Uncle Rico sent you. Now let's see what my boy Gino has a cooking for us on his horse racing by the day down at Gulfstream Park.
The race coming up this weekend is the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth. It's one of a couple big races, but this one's going to be on Saturday at Gulfstream Park. So let's look at this race. It's going to go as race number 14. We're looking at DRF past performances, and this is actually the Timeform US past performances. This is the projector. I'm actually a big fan of the 4 Commandment. He's 2-1 on the morning line, so he's probably going to be favored. I just think the race is going to set up really well for him again, like it did last time, with a lot of early speed in front of him. So many of these horses want to be close up early. Jackson Hole from the inside. Rocky's Balboa wants to be forwardly placed. I think Napoleon Solo will be in the mix there too. Solitude too, definitely. And then Chief Wallaby doesn't want to be too far out of it. So I'm going to play the 4 Commandment, and at the end of the exotics, if you're playing like pick 4s and pick 5s, this is a horse that I'm going to be fine singling at the end, but I'm also going to use the 6 and play some exactas with Commandment and Chief Wallaby, the 2 of them. So hopefully we can hook those 2 up. I think they'll both get the perfect kind of trip, sitting off the pace a little bit. So just keep an eye on the odds, because Commandment will probably end up being something like 7-5 or so. So you may not want to bet that horse individually. Might be a horse that you can play as like your single at the end of the exotics, or along in exactas with the number 6 Chief Wallaby. Best of luck this weekend. Make sure you tune in for the best information in sports from Erik each and every week.
Make sure to give my boy Gino a follow at It's Me Gino B. I'll be on drf.com doing some conference previews with him in the next couple of weeks. Now, I am excited to have a first timer to the show. My boy E told me this guy was the master of tennis betting, sharp as hell in college basketball, college football, player props in the NBA. And on top of that, he is Frank Kaminsky's #1 fan. I think he's got a statue of him in his backyard. My boy, Badger Max. Badger Max, how you doing today, my man?
Good, can't complain. Just another day in Michigan. Starting to snow again. Can't get rid of that, but
Dude, I'll tell you what, I was in the Grand Rapids area over the weekend visiting my nephews. There was snow. There was a lot of shit, but you know what? I will give it this. I don't know if you've ever been to Bojangles. They have a Bojangles in Grand Rapids, my man.
Really? I've heard a lot about it, but never been there.
Oh my God. Happiest day of my life. Kevin chimes in. What's up, boys? Erik, we almost had Notre Dame nail biter. Just kidding. Great season so far. Let's finish strong. Yeah, I had Notre Dame plus 17. I like the spot, and Duke said no. Baylor going to pull this off. Baylor's up at halftime against Arizona at home. No, Zona will run them out of the gym the second half. Badger, we love all 237 chiming in. Sports Facts, Jesus Christ, NC State, what the fuck. Guys, I don't know how you feel, but with me with college basketball, some games just have to throw out. If a team shoots 50% from 3, the other team's not going to win. You know what I mean?
Just got to tip your cap sometimes.
You just gotta move on with it. But those tuning in for the first time, those listening for the first time, basically how the show works is we each have a takeaway from the college basketball weekend prior, and we're going to give away 3 bets. Badger Max, you are the guest. What is your takeaway from last week's slate of games?
Well, firstly, let's talk about how I remember last week on your show you were talking about how Texas Tech probably won't make out the first weekend because their depth is very little. Now JT Toppin's out for the year, and it's probably pretty safe to say that they probably won't make it out the first weekend.
That was a sad day. I love that Texas Tech team. I had a future on them last year. I have a future on them this year. You know, last year, when you look at it, I think, what were they, up 10 with 4 to play on Florida? And no one will remember that when Florida won it all.
Yeah, they were winning easily and all nowhere.
And then Florida just kind of put it together. This year, I mean, that big 3 I loved, but with no Toppin, there's nothing I can do. I mean, I got them at 40-1 to win it all, and I think right now they're at 125 to win.
Yeah, the chances of that very slim.
I feel like I gave him the kiss of death. You know what I mean? Which absolutely pisses me off because I mentioned it, and then son of a bitch, soon enough, he went down. I actually had a couple guys that watched this. They're they're Texas Tech fans that were bitching me out. I guess my takeaway is last weekend, it showed why this Vanderbilt team, they're not built to make a deep run. Even if they get back to 100% healthy in the backcourt. Great story. Defend at a high level. They can press. They can trap. They can absolutely get stops. But in March, defenses isn't enough. You have to be able to crash the glass. They're 99th in defensive rebounding percentage. They rank 99th in defensive rebounding percentage, excuse me. That simply won't cut it against elite competition. Look at their losses. Tennessee, Missouri, Florida, Longhorns, all of them the same way. They were dominated on the glass. In today's run and gun, 3-point heavy NIL era of college basketball, the game's still simple. You have to do 2 things: get stops and get rebounds. Vandy can get stops. They just can't rebound. On the offensive end, they rank 77th nationally in offensive rebounding percentage. That's just not going to cut it. That means they're limited in second chance opportunities. So when you get in a tournament, tight rims, inflated basketballs, high pressure, those jumpers aren't falling. You better be able to manufacture extra possessions. Right now, Vanderbilt, they just can't rely on them. That's why I don't see them making a deep run. And I'll be honest, give me a St. Mary's. Give me one of those, Big West teams. They're not going to match up just because of the seed line. But a team like that, a team that's a good rebounding team, I am totally fading Vanderbilt when it comes time for March, my man.
Definitely, they're a team that if I see them in my region for the first weekend, I'd be very happy.
Now, you're a big Badger guy. Like, realistically, you guys beat Michigan State handily. You went into Ann Arbor and won.
Yep.
You went into Champaign and won.
Yep.
I mean, what? Okay, how can I word this? Like, what is your? Okay, I'm happy with this. And oh shit, I never thought this was possible. Like, what is you know what I mean? Like, what are your 2 with this team?
Well, my first thing is I hope that we could get out the first week, and I can't remember the last time we got out of that. So that's the goal of this team. Get out the first weekend. I'd prefer to be a 6 seed. Maybe if we're lucky, get a 5 seed somehow. But having a couple bad non-conference losses with TCU and Villanova is probably going to hurt us there. But 6 seed, I could deal with whoever we play in the 3 line. If that's Kansas, Iowa State if they drop. Somehow Texas Tech goes up there, a couple other teams. And then this team, they could score with almost any team in the country. I don't think that's going to be the worries of the team. So I feel like if we get, the right region of the 1 seed, like Houston, I won't mind. I feel like we can make a final run, 4-run push.
And plus, you have the guard. You have, what's his name, Blackwell?
Yeah, John. See, that's who I was about to get into. I feel like he's the X factor. Nick Boyd, he's been an unbelievable transfer we got from San Diego State, and it was at FAU with Dusty May. He's been unbelievable in all these big games. But John Blackwell, who's been really good the last 2 years for us, consistent, but he needs to pick it up because if Nick Boyd has one of those bad games where it's due to happen eventually, he needs to be the player he could be and have a good 20, 25 points.
Here we go. Your boy Do you bully this? Do you bully this kid, my man? Badger bullies me. Do you bully this poor kid, dude?
I have no idea who this is in the chat.
He's smoking crack. Dude,
Nice
that's why
attention seekage.
that's why I love YouTube, dude. Boyd, same high school class as Clay Cunningham. Yeah, but that's how it is. In this age of college basketball, there's older guys. That's just the way it is. And Cade's winning the MVP. So, we can't really hate on that. Before we get into betting, I do want you to talk about your Discord. In it, you cover everything: tennis, football, NBA player props, college football. For those watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. Why don't you tell the people about that, my friend?
Yeah, so I run a Discord I post all the picks that you could think of: tennis, NBA props, NFL when it's the season, MLB's coming up shortly, UFC, like you name it, we bet it. And then I have another friend that comes in, helps, runs it. But we run it for $5 a month, or you could do the yearly plan for $30 a year. So very reasonable. And we were just this last month of January, we were up just over 100 units for the month. So very successful. So far this month, we're up, I think, around 30-ish or so, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But yeah.
That's less than a cup of Starbucks coffee when you think about it. Like, when you step back and think about it, that's less than a Starbucks. Ask Badger about Timbit. I don't know.
He's some guy I troll a lot. He's a very interesting human being.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's before we jump into the bets, we always have to look back and see how we did on the show last week. 3-3 on the show last week, with myself hitting Missouri plus 4.5, Maryland plus 8.5, and Butler plus 6.5. Tyler lost Penn State minus 3.5, Clemson minus 3.5, and St. John's minus 9.5. So good week for me, bad week for my boy. But looking to rebound this week. 3-3. Looking to make a little money. Let's go ahead. We each have 3 bets. Badger Max, I will let you kick us off, my friend.
So first bet tomorrow's got to be Alabama over 172.5. It's like a system play for me. Every game they play, I got to bet they're over. Nate Oates has them running out the gym where they push the pace like no other. They're going to score points, and then they don't play much of defense. And then you got Josh Hubbard on the other end of Mississippi State that had, I don't even know, 30-plus points in the first half against Auburn, almost finished with 50. So, hey, if he has a somewhat decent performance like that, we're going to be in real good shape with that.
Yeah, I mean, Hubbard, you talk about a kid. Hubbard is a stud. I mean, this kid can straight out play. I think Mississippi State has that guy that can get a bucket, and Alabama just chuck threes, get to the rim. And I totally agree with him. I think this is going to be a high-scoring thing. And guys, got on this one early. I'm looking right now. Some shops is starting to tick up, so make sure you get on this one early. Badger and these overs, man, dude. Dylan chiming in, dude. Next bet, my friend. My first bet. I am going down to the SEC. I'm going to take Texas A&M here plus 7.5. First off, I really like the spot here to fade Arkansas. They're coming off a big win over the rival Missouri, but up next they have a tough matchup against 7th-ranked Florida, a team they're chasing for the SEC regular season title. To me, letdown spot. Looking at Arkansas's recent numbers, their last 5 games, we have seen them shoot an insane 40% from 3. We all know that kind of pace isn't sustainable, so they're due for some regression, almost guaranteed. On the flip side, opponents have been struggling from deep against Arkansas, hitting 28% from deep in that same time span. So you got an Arkansas team that's due for some shooting regression, and their opponents are likely due for some positive shooting regression. That factors in here, especially when you look at the style of Buckyball. I think this is the type of game we're going to see some shots start to fall against Arkansas. Texas A&M fits that bill perfectly. They average the 9th most threes per game, ranked 41st nationally in three-point shooting percentage. The matchup is there for them to take advantage of Arkansas's regression. On the glass, Texas A&M holds a clear advantage. They are a better rebounding team overall. And when we zoom into the last month, Arkansas ranks 330th nationally in rebounding A&M is 73rd offensive rebounding. This tells me the Aggies will get some second chance opportunities, which will be critical. Both teams have similar turnover margin, plus 2.8, but Texas A&M forces more turnovers per game than Arkansas, 13.8 to 11.7. This higher volume can disrupt Arkansas's elite offensive efficiency, which sits fourth in the nation. On the offensive side, Texas A&M isn't overmatched. 121.6 adjusted offense, which is 36 nationally. I think this lines up well against an Arkansas defense, which is solid but not elite. And finally, I say it on all my streams and my podcast, Texas A&M is a team we bet as a dog, fade as a favorite. They're 6-2 against the spread as an underdog this season. And at plus 7.5, I think this is just way too much. So give me the Texas A&M Aggies plus 7.5. Next bet, my friend.
You got to sprinkle the money line too, right, with Texas A&M?
I am always going to have a little sprinkle on the money line, my friend.
All right, next bet, UConn money line over St. John's, and then Florida money line. Pretty simple play. UConn, if you watched the first game where they played St. John's like really probably shouldn't have won that game. They got a lot of bounces to go their way. That's basketball. Got a nice whistle. And MSG, where Rick Pitino, pretty sure passed or had some kind of milestone that game.
Yeah.
UConn is like they have full stars. You got Braylon Mullins, Solo Ball, Terrace Reed, and then just a very good team, well-rounded. They're a team I feel like that can make easily a second weekend push where they could compete with some of the Arizonas, Houstons, maybe Duke, and then U of M. And then you got Florida. I think they're another team that if you see them on the 3 line, I would like really be excited for them. They're going to be a team with one of the best front courts with Thomas Ho and Alex Condon. And then if their guard play keeps developing like they've been of recently, Boogie Flynn, Xavier Lee, they're going to be a serious contender like last year.
It's really interesting to see how Florida's just kind of morphed into this team that could totally make a run and nobody is talking about them. I mean, I think they're like a team that is going to have insane value to win it all. My next one, I was on them last week. I'm just going to go back to the well here. I'm going to take the Butler Bulldogs here, plus 10.5. I really like the spot. You know, we mentioned UConn. You were just talking about them. This really stood out to me since Dan Hurley has taken over. Oh, sorry, Bobby Hurley. Excuse me, Bobby Hurley. No, Dan Hurley. What the hell am I talking about? I'm sorry. Dan Hurley has taken over. Teams are covering just 41% the game immediately after facing them. Over the last 2 years, that number drops to 35%. And when it's a Big East team, it falls all the way to 30%. That tells you something. The way this UConn team plays, physical, execution, defensive intensity, it carries over into the next game, and there's a hangover effect. Now you look at the situation. Villanova just played UConn, tight, only lost by 10, got away from it then. Now they play St. John's over the weekend. This is a classic sandwich, look-ahead spot, coming off an emotionally draining game with another big one coming up. Meanwhile, Butler plays at a faster tempo. They apply defensive pressure. This will create extra turnovers, extra possessions, and that matters against a Villanova team that's been really sloppy. Now, when we look at rebounding, huge edge. Villanova, 238 overall in rebounding on the season. Over the last month, drops to 287. They're also 269th in defensive rebounding percentage, real weakness. Butler, on the other hand, has a 32.6% offensive rebounding rate, which is 66 nationally. That's going to create some second chance opportunities. And in a game when you're catching double digit, those extra possessions are massive. Historically, over the last 7 years, Big East road dogs catching 8 or more points are 55% against the number, 6% ROI. In conference play, Kevin Willard, who's the coach of Villanova, has not been reliable, 45% against the number with a negative ROI. Butler's backcourt, finally healthy. They're playing better basketball. I think they're a little undervalued. I just think this is a great spot to fade Nova here. Give me the Butler Bulldogs here, plus 10.5, my friend. Next one, and I'm not going to lie, I was a little pissed off because I was looking at this one, but go ahead.
We got San Diego State money line. A nice get-back spot. They lost to Utah State less than a month ago or so by a couple points, but this is a good spot. Gone back at home. Got Butcher as their coach, one of the best defensive-minded coaches, I'd say, all around the country. They're beating Utah State by +3 on the turnover margin, so and then they're top 20 defensive efficiency according to Ken Pond. And that's who I had to win the Mountain West before the year. Kind of disappointing where they've been this year, but you got an 18-18 that's probably on the bubble-ish, maybe just looking out where this would be a nice win to have for them.
I mean, the Mountain West, I always love my Mountain West boys, but unfortunately, I really think this is just going to be a one bid team. I mean, I think Utah State has to win it to get in. And I mean, that's it. I mean, if they don't win it, I don't think there's a world they get into the dance. So
highly doubt it, yeah.
Fortunately, I think it's a one bid league. My last and final one, I am staying in Big East country. I'm taking New Mexico's former coach, Richard Pitino, with the Xavier Mustangs plus 6.5. Call me old fashioned. I love fading Kim English as a favorite. Covering just 41% of the time with a negative 22% ROI. On the flip side, Xavier as a dog this season, 10-6. They've been competitive in this role, and that matters when you're catching nearly a touchdown in conference play. Now, when we look at the Friars over the last month, extremely sloppy with the basketball, averaging 19.2 turnovers per game. Really hard to trust a team to win with margin when they're giving away this many possessions. Sloppy teams are volatile teams, and volatility, I can't even speak today, favors the dog. Defensively, Xavier is elite. Their adjusted defense efficiency is 103.6, top 10 nationally. That travels defense keeps them inside the number. Here's another key thing. Xavier is 6-1 straight up in their last 7 against Providence. Also, I think Trey Carroll creates a huge matchup issue. His size, his versatility. He can step out, knock it from 3. He can create off the dribble. He can facilitate. He can get in the post. I don't feel that Providence has anyone that can match up with him. Over the last 5 games, opponents have shot just 27% from 3 against Providence. Extremely low. That screams positive shooting aggression coming. Xavier is a solid 3-point shooting team, averaging 10 makes per game, ranks 56 nationally, and they're shooting 37% from deep on the season. If that regression hits, it's going to benefit the Mustangs. Another angle I like fading teams that won their previous game on the road as a dog and then coming home as the favorite. That's exactly what Providence just did. They just went to DePaul as a 3-point dog, won. Now they're laying points, tough turnaround spot. Now, when you got 2 teams near the bottom of the conference standings, I'm always going to lean the dog, especially when you have a coach I don't like in Kim English. I'm going to take the Xavier Mustangs here plus 6.5, my friend.
What do we think? Kim English is on the hot seat with the St. John's?
He's done. He is done. You know, he's done, dude. He is absolutely. There's no way he could be the coach. He should have been gone last year, dude. Kim English should have been gone last year. So some of these comments, man, I don't even know what they're saying, dude.
Hey, I don't know what you got going on in your comment section today, but do you have a site?
Badger Max, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your schedule, coming on, talking a little shop. When you tell everyone where they can find you on social media, you know, if they want to get in touch with you about your products and betting, what they have to do, my friend.
Well, I have a couple quick questions for you, if you don't mind, before we get going.
No, go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
All right. Friend. So I know for myself, you know, you like to take the plus 6.5s and everything. A lot of people say take their vitamins and everything. I'm not a big vitamins guy. I rather, like, for example, today we had Dayton money line. They easily beat St. Louis. Whereas, like, I rather just play the money line, take like the plus 140, 130, whatever, and then avoid the fouling and all the drama at the end. Why do you take your points?
I always take the points and I always sprinkle a little bit on the money line because I want to make sure like I get some sort of profit. I mean, the guy, like I was talking to you beforehand, I was at the Soaring Eagle Casino when I shouldn't have been. I met this guy, and this guy kind of took me under his wing, taught me a lot about betting. And his main thing that he taught to me was you want to put yourself in a position to make money. So I'm always going to have a bigger bet on the points than have a smaller bet on the money line. It's just the way I've always done it. My boy David, who does a lot of stuff with me, he's completely in the same mindset as you are. He was always going to play the money line. He always says it's a money line sport. he's always takes the points. He never takes anything on the spread. So I don't know. It's just the way I learned it and the way I've just kind of kept doing it.
Yeah. And then one more last thing. We got March is pretty much starting next week. Now, we already got some coaches going in their prime form. Like you see Kelvin Sampson to Houston. They're starting to fall apart. And they had last year, they had a good run where they probably should have won a national championship, but another late Houston choke. We got St. John's, who I was saying I'm not that high on, that I feel like they could be easily a first week exit. Rick Barnes at Tennessee, always known for his chokes. Purdue recently. What do we think about some of these schools?
Oh my God. I did bite a little bit at Tennessee at 14-1 to make the Final Four. Now, I'm a big rebounding guy. I am a huge rebounding guy. And they are one of the better rebounding teams in the country. They got Gillespie at point. I trust him, a veteran point guard. They got the kid Ahmet who can create. He's gotten better offensively. At 14-1, if they get the right draw, like if they're in the region with a UConn or even with a Houston as the one, I think they have the size to make that. Purdue, I love Brandon Smith, the Boughton man from South Dakota, whose name I'm spacing on, who's their center. They got the big guy, but to me, I think Lawyer's too much of a liability. His shooting will go out the door. They just don't have the playmakers that they've had in the past to make a run. St. John's, I'm just never going to trust St. John's. I don't like their point guard. I don't like their free throw shooting. I'm always going to be a little bit down on them. What was the other team you mentioned? I'm sorry.
Tennessee, Purdue, Kelvin Sampson, Houston.
That team's tough for me just because, like, I know they've lost 3 in a row. They lost to Texas Tech, which was a great game. That could have gone either way. Arizona game was neck and neck to the end, but it was at Arizona. And no one beats Kansas. No one beats Bill Self Monday night. That's just the rule, dude. Like, no one does it. They got that freshman who can create off the dribble. Sharp's been a little sloppy this year. I don't know if because the ball's been taken out of his hands a little bit that he's not able to do what he did last year, but their brand of basketball travels. I do have a future on him, I think, at like plus 750 to win it all. I do kind of like them. But yeah, like I don't know, just because Sampson has done it so much and he's got all those kids just buy into their role, it's tough for me to go against them.
Yeah, they're definitely a team. Like you look at yesterday's a prime example where they played a great first half. They had Darren Pearson, Melvin Council, both with 2 fouls. Late in the second half, up 7 points, had a chance to open it up, go into the half with some real good flows. But then they give up 11-0 run. You're losing at half, and then all the momentum switches out Allen Fieldhouse, and then they look like one of those teams where Kelvin Sampson's known for his defense and everything, and I don't think if they face like a hot offensive team where if they're down 10, 15 points in the middle of the second half or so, I don't think they're a team like yesterday that they're going to be able to come back from those margins.
So I'm just going to read off some teams to you. You tell me yay or nay when it comes to winning it all. Hold on one second.
Sure.
All right. Duke.
Yes.
Zona.
Yes.
Zona's a no to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I just, I think Lloyd's a little overrated.
Yeah, definitely. He's on the fence of where I'd say coaches where they've been choking of recently. They just lost to Princeton a couple years ago. They've had a lot of real good teams where they have potential to make deep runs and they have nothing to show for it.
Now, maybe Michigan. What do you say about Michigan?
I say no. When you see Elliot Cadeau against Duke and he had a complete abysmal game where you can't have your point guard have a bad game in the NCAA tournament. And then you have a center. I don't mind a Daimara, very interesting center, but when you see like the Wisconsin game, perfect example. If you have bigs that could stretch the court out and then get him out of the paint, he has pretty much no use out on the court, and then they have no rim protection, so they're going to be losing a lot.
I agree 110% with you. Like 100%. I don't trust their point guard. They got bigs that can draw them out. I agree 100% with you. Iowa State.
Iowa State. I'll say no.
I mean, look, dude, they should have won it that one year against Kentucky, dude, when they had Kamitsky and Decker. That was the year your boys should have won it.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't. Everybody knows about the Duke whistle. You're telling me Justice Winslow didn't touch the ball? That was a very.
I say Houston can win it. I sense you don't trust them. UConn.
Yes, I'm not counting out Hurley at all. They have a good enough starting five where it could be with any team.
Florida.
Absolutely.
Purdue is a no for me.
No chance.
Gonzaga is quietly sitting at 27-2.
They're.
With
I don't know how much you could take
at
out of them.
Portland and getting boat raced by Michigan in November by 40.
They're a team I feel like probably Sweet 16's their max, but I don't see them making any run past Sweet 16. Maybe lucky get Elite 8 if they get the right team.
Illinois.
Yeah.
My thing with Illinois is this, and it was kind of like who they lose to last year, Kentucky. Always offensive, like elite offensively, but can they get that stop? Like, remember last year against Kentucky, they just couldn't get those fucking stops.
No.
I mean, that's my one big worry about them. Like, I just don't know, like, if they're going to be able to get stops, but offensively, elite. And if they're knocking down, I mean, shit, dude, you're done.
Oh, unbelievable! Got great. This freshman class is unbelievable. Keaton Wagler, he's been unbelievable in big games. Besides the Michigan State game where they ended up losing just in overtime, and he played an awful game. Got Ivasic, an unbelievable shooting big man. Everybody in their court could shoot. Good depth, good defense. Now they got Boswell back. One really good defensive guard.
Virginia.
No, absolutely. I'll say they're going to be a first weekend out.
Oh, so you think they get okay?
I'm not a fan of them at all.
All right. This is a team I'm not a fan of, Nebraska.
Yeah, same. Sweet 16 max, I'd say.
All they do is shoot threes. If the threes aren't falling, they don't have a shot to do anything. I mean, that's basically it with them. Last couple ones here. Michigan State.
No. They're great, simple Tom Izzo team, great defensively. They're going to rebound the ball, but they're missing just what I've been telling my friends here in Michigan. Like, they're missing someone that could get you a bucket when they need one. Like, they don't have like what normal Michigan State teams have, just someone that's going to go find you a way to win the game. If they had Jace Richardson on this team, I feel like this would be a very different story.
Or even Holloman, if Holloman would have stayed.
Yeah.
But we need to remember, though, that Allen, the transfer from FAU, broke something, like broke some bone in his foot.
I think, yeah, fibula or something.
Yeah. Like, he would, like, not having him, and then the guy whose name I can't pronounce at all, number 99, he transferred in from Miami.
Yeah.
Great shooter. Like, you lose two wings, you're going to be up a creek without a paddle. Last two, Kansas.
No.
I mean, I feel Peterson, like, just is load managing right now. Like, you read about him, and then you read about that kid in Arkansas who was in a walking boot, played like over 40 minutes against Alabama, and Peterson like has a cramp.
Yeah, like, just how are you having at such a young age? How are you having cramps? Such a consistent thing. Then you see yesterday where he was trying to tell Bill Self, "Hey, I think it's time for me to come out," and then Bill Self tell him, "No, you're staying in this game."
And then they're playing I don't know if you saw this, the Big 12 tournament this year in Kansas. It's going to be on a glass floor, and like the hologram will show up. So if it like Kansas is the better seed, their home court layout will be on the court.
Oh wow, I didn't hear about that.
Home court team. So I mean, dude, that's something brand new. There is no way in hell Peterson is playing on that because he doesn't want to get hurt. And then the last one, you mentioned them. I think we're in the same boat here. I think same thing as last year. Win their first, lose their second round. St. John's.
Yeah, they're their first weekend team and most. Rick Pitino, don't believe in him anymore. The system is not what it used to be. A team that I want to say benefited that you talked about recently. In a way, it hurts them a lot, but it benefits them as well. BYU. I don't think they're a national championship team, but they're a team I would not want to see in the tournament. With AJ DeBonson now is able to take a lot more shots and be more aggressive. You got Robert Wright if he has a good game. Then you got Keita, a really good center where he's going to rebound the ball, good paint presence.
Now my thing is when Sanders went out, I mentioned this on my Saturday show. Like I'm live every Saturday talking hoops with my boy Jim and Chase. What does this mean with Sanders going out? It means they're going to be better defensively because he's going to guard shit, and it's going to mean AJ gets more shots.
Yep.
Does that really make him a worse team? I think it actually kind of makes them a little better.
Exactly. Like you look at the Iowa State game, their first really real game Saturday, where Iowa State just came off a big win against Houston, and then they're only a plus 2.5 point dog. So the books and the people really don't think much different about them without them.
Badger Max, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your schedule, talking a little shop. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on social media, my friend?
So we got Discord. You could DM me, or you could join the Discord, Bookie's Basement. My Discord's Booblix RKT. Twitter, Bookie Basement, or my personal one's Badger Max with an S at the end. DM me there, whatever. If you have any questions about the Discord, whatever, tennis, I don't care. Ask me any questions, and I'll try to help you and lead you the right way.
Give that man a follow. We'll talk off air. Definitely want to have you back on, my friend. Best of luck in your bets. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back next week. Give that man a follow, and we will talk soon, my friend.
Sounds good. Appreciate you, Erik.